Have you ever wondered why some people remain unshaken no matter what the world throws at them? They seem untouched by the chaos. Life hits them with insults, unexpected failures, setbacks that just keep coming one after another, and yet they stand firm, unaffected by the storm. What do they know that you don't? For most of us, life feels like a constant reaction to the world around us. A person cuts you off in traffic, and rage surges up instantly. A coworker makes a passive-aggressive remark, and your whole mood is ruined. A stranger gives you an unpleasant look, and self-doubt creeps in. These things happen, and we let them affect us deeply. But what if this didn't have to be your reality? What if you could learn to remain calm, unshaken, in the face of these very situations? Carl Jung believed that most people are slaves to their own reactions. We often believe the world is doing things to us, when in reality, it is simply reflecting everything we haven't yet mastered within ourselves. The external world, Jung said, is a mirror of our internal world. Here's the truth. Nothing can truly affect you unless it finds something inside you to latch onto. Let's break this down. If someone calls you stupid and you feel enraged, it's because deep down, some part of you fears that it might be true. If someone ignores you and you feel hurt, it's because a part of you still seeks external validation. This is why two people can experience the same situation and react completely differently. It's never about what happens. It's about what happens inside of you. This is where shadow work comes into play. Shadow work is the practice of making the unconscious conscious. It's about understanding that every irritation, every frustration, every emotional trigger is actually a message from within. It's a signal for growth. Unfortunately, most people run from their emotional triggers. They try to silence them, avoid them, or blame the world for making them feel the way they do. But those who are truly awakened realize something life-changing. The world outside of you is nothing more than a reflection of your inner world. Once you understand this, you unlock a powerful tool, the ability to control your reality by mastering yourself. Now here's the problem. Most people don't want to hear this. It's easier to believe that your boss, your ex, your circumstances, or bad luck is to blame for your suffering. It's easier to believe that life is unfair than to face the fact that you might be the one giving all these external things their power over you. But for those who are willing to dig deeper, who are ready to stop blaming the world and start observing their own reactions, a whole new level of freedom becomes possible. And the best part? Once you stop reacting, you stop being controlled. You no longer need to avoid negative people or try to control every situation. You become immune. Let's be clear, not detached, not emotionless, but untouchable. Most people spend their entire lives trying to control things they were never meant to control. They want others to like them, life to be predictable, and everything to go their way. When life doesn't cooperate, they suffer. They get angry when someone disrespects them, feel betrayed when things go awry, and take everything personally as though the universe has singled them out for some cruel test. But here's the hard truth. Nothing in this world is actually under your control except for one thing: your perception. Carl Jung understood that while the world outside of us is neutral, neither good nor bad, neither kind nor cruel, it is our perception that gives it the qualities of positivity or negativity. Think about this. Two people can go through the exact same experience. A breakup, a financial loss, a failure. One person spirals into despair, believing they've lost everything, while the other sees it as an opportunity to grow, a lesson to be learned, and a path towards something better. The difference between these two people: their perception. Jung once said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." This means that as long as we remain unaware of the stories we are telling ourselves about people, success, and our own worth, we will continue reacting blindly to the world, thinking that life is happening to us instead of realizing that it's happening because of us. The more you try to control the external world, the more power you give it over you. When you need someone's respect, they have power over you. When you need a situation to unfold in a certain way, it controls you. When you need life to be fair, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. But once you let go of the illusion of control, everything shifts. Suddenly you're free from the need for approval, from the fear of failure, from the exhausting effort of trying to make the world bend to your expectations. Think about it. The people who are truly untouchable in life are not the ones who control everything. They're the ones who have mastered themselves. They remain calm in the storm, unshaken by chaos, indifferent to insults, and fearless in the face of uncertainty. They know something that most people don't. Control is an illusion. And the moment they stop chasing it, they become truly powerful. And here's the paradox. When you stop needing things to go your way, they often do. When you stop fearing what people think, you naturally become more confident. When you stop chasing success out of desperation, opportunities start appearing effortlessly. When you stop resisting life and begin flowing with it, everything seems to fall into place. This is not just philosophy, this is neuroscience. Studies in cognitive psychology show that the more we obsess over controlling something, whether it's a person, an outcome, or even our own thoughts, the more we create resistance. This is why people who are desperate for love end up repelling it, why people terrified of failure sabotage themselves, and why those who cling to control often feel the most powerless. Are you living in reaction or inaction? Are you in control of your perception, or are you letting the world shape it for you? Because once you realize that nothing outside of you has power over you, life starts to feel like a completely different game. Let me paint a scenario for you. You're walking down the street, minding your own business, when suddenly someone shouts an insult at you. Maybe they call you foolish, weak, or tell you that you'll never amount to anything. Now pause for a second. What happens inside of you at that moment? Most people would either get defensive or feel hurt. Their emotions hijack them before they even have time to think. Their heart rate spikes, anger kicks in, and they replay the insult over and over in their mind, feeding their frustration. But imagine a different response. Nothing. No reaction, no emotional spike. Just a calm realization that says, "This has nothing to do with me." This is what the Stoics, Zen masters, and even Carl Jung understood deeply. Nothing outside of you has the power to disturb you unless you give it permission. Why do most people get affected by insults or provocations? Because they are identified with a false self, a fragile mental construct that depends on opinions, validation, and attachment to outcomes. When someone challenges this false self, it feels like a threat to their identity. Jung spoke of the shadow self, the hidden part of our psyche that holds all our fears, insecurities, and unresolved wounds. When someone triggers an emotional reaction in us, they are not creating pain. They are revealing pain that was already there. Imagine it. If you were truly at peace with yourself, someone's insult would mean nothing. It would be like yelling at a mountain. It would simply echo back with no response. So the real question is, why are you reacting? If someone calls you a failure, does it hit a nerve because deep down you fear it might be true? If someone disrespects you, does it enrage you because you crave recognition? If things don't go your way, do you spiral because you're attached to a specific outcome? The problem isn't the world. The problem is the way you see yourself. The real power isn't in silencing the world or eliminating problems. It's in developing an unshakable mind, a mind that doesn't need external validation, a mind that doesn't crumble when faced with obstacles. The key to achieving this level of mastery is through psychological conditioning. Emotional reactivity is a habit that your brain has developed over time. The more you let the outside world control your emotions, the more automatic these reactions become. But here's the good news. You can rewire your brain. Neuroscientists have found that through mindfulness, cognitive reframing, and exposure to discomfort, you can literally train your brain to be less reactive over time. Eventually, insults stop triggering you, failures no longer define you, and uncertainty doesn't scare you. At this point, you become untouchable, not because the world has changed, but because you have. The strange truth about human nature is this. People believe they are reacting to the world, but in reality, they are reacting to themselves. Imagine this. Someone insults you. The words hit you like a dagger. But pause for a second. Where do you actually feel the pain? It's not in the words. It's in the meaning you've assigned to them. Jung understood this deeply. He once said, "Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. The truth is brutal. Nothing outside of you has power over you unless you give it power. Think of it like a mirror. If your reflection in the mirror suddenly frowned at you, you wouldn't get angry at the mirror. You'd realize that it's simply reflecting what you're doing. Yet, when life does the same thing, when people provoke emotions in us, we react as if the mirror is to blame. The real question is, why do we give so much power to things outside of us? The reason is simple: attachment. When your identity is tied to external things, opinions, validation, outcomes, you will always be at their mercy. But what if you didn't play the game? What if instead of reacting, you became the one who observes? Detachment is not about becoming emotionless. It's about becoming untouchable. It's about realizing that you are not your emotions. You are the awareness behind them. Think about a storm. It rages, lightning strikes, the wind howls, but above it all, the sky remains untouched. You are the sky, not the storm. This is why the greatest power isn't in controlling the world, it's in controlling your perception of it. Once you stop reacting, you begin to control reality itself. People sense your energy shift. They can't shake you. They can't manipulate you. They can't influence your peace. You own your energy. The question now becomes, how do you step into this state of untouchable presence? How do you become unshaken by the world? It begins with a radical shift in awareness, understanding that you've never been reacting to the world, but only to your mind's interpretation of it. This is where true freedom begins. Take a moment to think about the last time someone triggered you emotionally. Maybe they insulted you, cut you off in traffic, or disrespected you in some way. How did you respond? Did your emotions take over before you even had a chance to think about it? Did you feel angry, hurt, or frustrated? Here's the truth. These emotional responses are a sign that something within you has not yet been healed. Emotional triggers are like hidden wounds waiting to be exposed, and instead of seeing them as something negative, try to see them as a gift, an opportunity to heal. Every time someone or something triggers you, it's revealing a part of you that needs attention. This is where true personal growth begins. What Carl Jung called the shadow self is exactly this. The shadow is the unconscious part of us that contains all the emotions, memories, and experiences we choose to ignore or repress. It's the part of us we try to avoid, but ironically, it's the part that holds the key to our freedom. When we confront and integrate our shadow, we free ourselves from the hold it has over us. So, how do you start the journey toward becoming untouchable? The first step is through observation. Most people go through life reacting automatically to everything they encounter. But if you want to master your mind, you need to start observing your reactions. When something triggers you, instead of immediately reacting, pause for a moment. Observe what's happening inside you. What are you feeling? What thoughts are rising? Why are you feeling this way? By observing, you separate yourself from the reaction, which allows you to make a conscious choice on how to respond. This practice helps you create space between the stimulus and your response, which is where your power lies. Another crucial aspect of mastering yourself is detachment. Now, detachment doesn't mean becoming emotionless or indifferent to the world. It doesn't mean shutting down your feelings or becoming cold. In fact, it's quite the opposite. Detachment is the ability to engage fully with life without letting it define or control you. When you're attached to a particular outcome, a specific situation, or someone's opinion, you're giving away your power. You're allowing external circumstances to dictate how you feel and how you react. But when you practice detachment, you take back that power. You recognize that you don't need anything outside of yourself to be whole. You stop needing approval, validation, or control over situations to feel at peace. This is why detachment is so powerful. When you're detached, you are in control of your emotional energy. You are no longer at the mercy of other people's actions or life's unpredictability. Instead, you become like the sky above a storm, calm, expansive, and untouched by the turbulence below. Here's the paradox. The more you let go of your need to control, the more control you actually gain. Let go of the need for approval, and you become more confident. Let go of the need for life to unfold according to your expectations, and you'll find that things fall into place more effortlessly. The more you stop chasing after external outcomes, the more opportunities start appearing in your life naturally. The key is in releasing your attachment to control. When you do this, your life begins to flow with ease. And the more you flow with life, the more you realize that everything is actually working in your favor. You no longer need to fight the current of life. Instead, you begin to work with it, allowing it to take you where you need to go. Mastering the untouchable mind requires self-awareness in real time. It's about recognizing in the moment when you are about to react. It's about training yourself to observe your emotions and your thoughts instead of letting them control you. The next time you find yourself in a situation where you would normally react, catch yourself before you do. Take a deep breath and observe. What are you feeling? Why are you feeling that way? Is this reaction really necessary? In that moment, you have the power to choose how you respond. This practice becomes more powerful the more you do it. Over time, you'll find that your reactions become less and less intense. The more you practice self-awareness, the more you become an observer of your own thoughts and emotions. And once you're able to do this consistently, you'll find that you no longer react to the world the way you used to. The process of becoming untouchable is not just a matter of willpower or positive thinking. It's about rewiring your brain. Neuroscientists have found that the more we react emotionally to situations, the stronger those emotional pathways become in our brains. The more you react to life's challenges with frustration, anger, or fear, the more those emotions become your default responses. But the good news is that you can rewire your brain through mindfulness, cognitive reframing, and regular exposure to discomfort. You can train yourself to respond differently. Instead of reacting impulsively, you can learn to respond from a place of calm and awareness. When you stop reacting to every emotional trigger, your brain begins to form new pathways that lead to calmness, clarity, and inner peace. Eventually, your automatic reactions will no longer be fueled by anger, frustration, or fear. Instead, they will be shaped by a deep sense of control and understanding. Once you've mastered your reactions, you'll notice a shift in your reality. The world will no longer be able to manipulate your emotions. People will no longer be able to provoke you. You will become like a mirror reflecting the world back at itself, unshaken, unbothered, and untouchable. This process takes time, practice, and commitment, but the results are profound. The more you master yourself, the more your reality begins to shift. You stop chasing after things. You stop needing the world to give you what you want. Instead, you become a magnet for the life you desire. By mastering your mind, you control your life. The power of self-mastery is the key to an untouchable life. And once you realize that, you'll understand that nothing outside of you has the power to affect you unless you give it permission. The ultimate power is not in controlling the world around you, it's in mastering your perception of it. When you no longer need to control things or make them conform to your expectations, you become truly powerful. People won't be able to manipulate you or influence your peace because now you own your energy. The untouchable. Mind is the mind that remains calm and steady in the face of chaos. It's the mind that understands that life is not happening to you, but through you. When you realize this, you become the creator of your own reality. So the real question is, how will you choose to respond to life moving forward? Will you continue reacting automatically, or will you choose to observe and master your reactions? The choice is yours. And the moment you decide to stop reacting, the moment you decide to take back control of your mind, everything changes. As Carl Jung said, everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. It's time to stop letting the world control your emotions and take ownership of your inner world. It's time to become the untouchable presence that no external force can affect. The power to change your life, to become unshakable, to master your mind. It's all within you. The real journey starts the moment you decide to stop reacting and start mastering your perceptions. And when you do, the world will start responding to you in ways you never thought possible. Are you ready to begin this journey? Master your mind, and you will master your reality. The concept of becoming untouchable isn't just about philosophical musings. It's about real, tangible, practical actions that can be implemented into your life today. Becoming untouchable isn't about being emotionless or detached from life. It's about developing emotional resilience and self-mastery so that the world can no longer control your energy or your peace of mind. Emotional resilience is one of the most essential qualities you can develop on your journey toward becoming untouchable. Resilience means the ability to bounce back from adversity, hardship, or negative circumstances. It's about withstanding emotional storms without being swept away by them. When you develop emotional resilience, external events, whether they're insults, setbacks, or disappointments, no longer have the power to break you. You begin to see them for what they are: temporary events that do not define your life or your worth. Here's a practical exercise for building emotional resilience: the pause and reflect method. The next time something triggers you, whether it's a harsh word, an unexpected setback, or a stressful situation, take a deep breath and pause for a moment. Don't immediately react. In that pause, ask yourself 2 questions. 1. What am I feeling right now? 2. Why am I feeling this way? By doing this, you give yourself space to analyze the situation instead of just reacting. The more you practice this, the less likely you are to be thrown off balance by life's unpredictable nature. You'll find that your reactions become more deliberate, more controlled, and ultimately, more peaceful. The importance of self-awareness. Self-awareness is the foundation of becoming untouchable. Without it, you are at the mercy of your unconscious mind, which is driven by automatic reactions and programmed responses. But when you are aware of your emotions, your thoughts, and your triggers, you can choose how to respond rather than simply reacting from a place of habit. Here's a powerful practice for increasing self-awareness: mindfulness meditation. Start by taking a few minutes each day to sit in silence. Focus on your breath and become aware of your thoughts. Notice any emotions that arise and observe them without judgment. If your mind starts to wander, gently bring it back to your breath. The goal here is not to clear your mind completely, but to simply observe what's happening in the moment without getting caught up in it. The more you practice mindfulness, the more you'll be able to step back and see your thoughts and emotions as separate from you, rather than as your identity. This mental detachment is a key part of emotional mastery. A key Distinction between those who are affected by the world and those who are untouchable is how they respond to external events. Most people live in a state of reaction, where they are constantly responding to what the world throws at them. This could be anything from traffic jams to office politics to family drama. Every external event becomes an emotional trigger, and they react without thinking. But the untouchable person lives from a place of action. Instead of reacting, they consciously choose how to respond. They know that their emotions don't control them, they control their emotions. A powerful practice for shifting from reaction to action is the ABC model from Cognitive Behavioral Therapy, CBT. This model helps you break down situations and reframe your responses. A. Activating event. What happened? Someone cut you off in traffic, a colleague made a rude comment, or a plan fell through. B. Beliefs. What beliefs do you have about the event? Do you believe it's a personal attack? Do you believe you have to react to it? C. Consequences. What are the emotional and physical consequences of your beliefs? Do you feel angry, frustrated, or anxious? Once you recognize the connection between your beliefs and emotional responses, you can begin to change your beliefs. Instead of believing that life is unfair or that people are intentionally trying to upset you, you can begin to see these events as neutral, simply part of life's flow. By shifting your beliefs, you change the emotional consequences and, in turn, your actions. One of the most transformative practices in becoming untouchable is learning the art of letting go. So much of our emotional turmoil comes from holding on to things we cannot control, other people's opinions, past regrets, and the need for validation. Letting go doesn't mean abandoning your values or becoming indifferent to everything around you. It simply means that you stop attaching your happiness, your peace, and your sense of worth to things outside of your control. Here's another practical exercise for letting go: the emptying exercise. Every day, take a moment before you go to bed to mentally empty out all the things you've been holding on to throughout the day. This could be resentment, fear, frustration, or even excitement. Write them down in a journal and then release them. Tell yourself that you no longer need to carry these emotions into tomorrow. By releasing the day's events, you allow yourself to start each new day with a clean slate, unburdened by past frustrations. To truly become untouchable, you must also confront your ego. The ego is the part of us that craves validation, recognition, and control. It's the part of us that feels attacked when someone insults us, and it's the part that gets defensive when we feel threatened. Carl Jung referred to the ego as a false self, a mental construct built on external validation and attachment. Two outcomes. The ego is fragile because it depends on the world to validate its worth. When the world doesn't meet its expectations, the ego feels threatened, and we react accordingly. The key to becoming untouchable is to detach from the ego. This doesn't mean eliminating it entirely, but learning to observe it without being ruled by it. Once you recognize that your ego is simply a collection of thoughts and beliefs, you can stop taking it so personally. You no longer need to defend your identity or react to every criticism. The greatest minds throughout history have emphasized the importance of being an observer. The Buddha, the Stoics, and Carl Jung all believed that by observing our thoughts and emotions, we can step out of the cycle of reactivity and into a place of peace and clarity. The practice of observing is incredibly powerful because it allows you to see your thoughts and emotions without identifying with them. You become the witness to your own experience rather than being the experiencer. To develop the ability to observe, start with mindfulness practices, but also apply it to your everyday life. When someone insults you, instead of immediately reacting, pause and observe your internal response. What do you feel? What thoughts are arising? Are these thoughts grounded in truth, or are they simply old patterns of reaction? By becoming the observer, you begin to break free from your automatic responses. This allows you to make conscious choices about how to respond instead of being a slave to your emotions. When you stop reacting to life's challenges and start observing them, you begin to build a new relationship with the world. You no longer need the world to behave a certain way in order for you to feel at peace. You no longer need other people's approval or validation to feel good about yourself. Instead of seeing the world as something you need to control or change, you begin to see it as an opportunity for growth, learning, and self-mastery. You realize that the world is not out to get you. It's simply reflecting back what you've yet to master within yourself. When you master yourself, the world's chaos no longer affects you. You become unshaken, untouchable, and free. Imagine walking through life with the unshakable belief that no matter what happens, you are enough. No matter what people say or do, you remain grounded in your own self-worth. When you reach this level of inner strength, you become unshakable. You no longer need external circumstances to validate your worth or happiness because you already know that it comes from within. And here's the best part. When you stop reacting to life, you begin to attract the very things you want. The people who were once able to trigger you will no longer have that power. Opportunities will come to you effortlessly because you are no longer desperate for them. Life will start to flow with ease because you are no longer fighting against it. When you stop resisting life, life begins to flow in your favor. The journey to becoming untouchable is not about becoming perfect. It's not about eliminating your emotions or pretending that challenges don't exist. It's about acknowledging your emotions, understanding where they come from, and learning how to respond in a way that empowers you rather than drains you. You are not your reactions. You are the awareness behind them. And when you tap into that awareness, you tap into your true power. It's time to stop playing the game of life as a victim. It's time to stop reacting like a puppet on strings, controlled by the whims of the world. You are not meant to be controlled by external forces. You are meant to be the one who controls your reality. You are meant to be the one who chooses how to respond to life, to challenges, to setbacks, and to people. So I challenge you today. Step into your power. Master your reactions. Stop giving away your peace to the world. Instead, create your peace from within. Every time life challenges you, take a deep breath and choose to respond with calm, with confidence, and with strength. You are the master of your mind. You are the master of your emotions. And when you take control of them, you take control of your life. Now is the time to take that first step toward becoming untouchable. It won't happen overnight, but with every day that passes, you will grow stronger, more resilient, and more in control of your own reality. You'll start to see the world in a new light, a light that reflects your inner strength, your peace, and your power, The road may be long, but the destination is worth it. A life of freedom, of peace, of unshakable confidence is within your reach. All it takes is a decision. Decide today to stop reacting to the world. Decide today to start observing, to start mastering your emotions, to start creating your own reality. And when you do, you will step into the most powerful version of yourself. You are untouchable. You are invincible. And your journey to self-mastery begins now.